Shri gurucharitra, chapter 20. Shri Gurudeva Datta Parabrahmane Namaha. Relief from ghost trouble, blessings for male issue. Namadharaka, who was always guru-centric in his thought and actions, questioned Siddhamuni thus. Respected Master, even though Shri Guruji lived in person at Gangapur, how did he exhibit his place by living secretly in Amrapur, which is away from Gangapur? In future period, who were the ones to gain the boons there? What is the unique influence of Audumbar? Then the delighted Siddhamuni started elaborating the glory of Audumbar in this manner. Namadharaka, I am going to clear all your doubts. The fame of Narsobhavadi spread day by day beyond anybody's imagination. Though in reality Shri Guruji stayed at Gangapur, he perennially resides in Audumbar tree of Narsobhavadi. Audumbar is a wish-fulfilling tree by name Jaya. Shri Guruji, by invisibly presiding at Audumbar tree, is gracing his devotees. There are several instances to prove whereby worshippers of Audumbar tree were able to fulfill their expectations just by remembering Shri Guruji. How can I describe the infinite place of Shri Guruji? To prove his glory, I am just quoting an incident to you. In the village Shirol, which was closer to Audumbar Kshetra, there lived a noble Brahmin along with his virtuous chaste wife happily. Even though they had 5 issues, none of them could survive. They used to embrace the death immediately after their birth. Whatever religious practices, fasting, vows they observed did not yield any desired results because the fruits of action in their previous births were very strong. With the hope to have virtuous issue, once the wife of the Brahmin consulted an astrologer. The astrologer, who referred to the scriptures of Karma Vipak, predicted thus: Hey mother, you are suffering from the misery of separation of your issues due to terrible sins which you committed in your previous birth. In your past birth, you failed to return the loan amount you had borrowed from a Brahmin of Shaunaka race. Even though he requested you for money repeatedly, you did not bother to return the borrowed money to him as per the agreement. Due to your defaulting act of repaying the borrowed money, he landed in deep trouble. Distressed by your behavior, the disappointed Brahmin finally committed suicide. That unsatisfied Brahmin, who is now in the form of ghost, wants to take revenge against you by destroying the fetus and the children born. He has cursed you to be without any progeny. That is why newborn children from you are dying in a few minutes. This is the reason why you are rendered issueless in this birth. Since you have deceived that money-greedy Brahmin, you are afflicted in this birth with the flaw of killing a Brahmin. Now you only have to pay for your misdeeds. Having realized that she herself is responsible for the loss of her children, she repented for her sins very much. She mercifully sought a solution from the astrologers for the eradication of the sins she committed. Then the astrologer said, Hey, the virtuous woman, since you have failed to return the loan amount you had borrowed, that aggrieved Brahmin had committed suicide. Therefore, you have attracted twin flaws, namely that of stealing his money and that of killing a Brahmin, as he had committed suicide due to your default in returning the money. He is born as a ghost and is suffering a lot now, as no one had performed his funeral rites after his unnatural death. For that, now you should accept the responsibility for returning his money and performing his last rites. To get freed from the money indebtedness by way of charity, you should offer 100 rupees to a Brahmin of Shaunaka race and pray to him. Unless you follow what is told to you, your welfare is a distant reality. Besides this, you should observe fast in the Krishna Panchaganga confluence and worship the Padukas of Shri Narsingh Saraswati Guruji, which are consecrated below the Audumbar tree with deep devotion and faith along with Audumbar tree, and serve them. You must bathe at Papa Vinashini Tirtha every day without fail and pour water on Audumbar tree 7 times as a mark of bathing, and by observing fast, worship the Padukas of Guru Shri Narsingh Saraswati which are installed there, and then take bath in Kamya Tirtha. You should serve Shri Narsingh Saraswati Guruji with the assumption that it is Shri Guru himself who acknowledges sevas in the form of his padukas. If this is done, you shall be freed from your sins which you committed by killing that Brahmin and be blessed with a son having longevity and attain all material prosperity. Thus he predicted about her astrological gains. She was a little relieved and contented after listening to the suggestions of that astrologer. But as she was bereft of money, she was not in a position to carry out his advice. Worried, she pleaded thus: Sir, as suggested by you, I can certainly perform ritualistic bath ceremony to Audumbar tree and padukas and circumambulating of Audumbar tree, fasting and other rituals. But hit by extreme poverty, I am not in a position to gift away money in the form of charity and perform funeral rites. I am prepared to do anything by utilizing my physical energy, including service to Shri Guruji. Thus she pleaded her helplessness. The astrologer felt pity on her. He advised her thus: If what you said is true, then at least offer services and worship to Shri Guruji, who is residing secretly in the form of padukas through the means of body, speech, and mind for a period of 1 month. Undoubtedly, you will be atoned from your sins. You will be relieved from all flaws. Besides that, you also will be blessed with an issue having longevity. The practice of devotion to Guru is all powerful. It confers everything which one aspires. Should you serve Shri Guruji sincerely, you are sure to receive directions from Shri Guruji in the matter. Then you must do what is directed to you by Shri Guruji. She was agreeable to the suggestion given by the astrologer. That Brahmin woman, with lot of self-confidence and in a delighted mood, marched towards Krishna Panchaganga confluence quickly. Afterwards, as per the suggestion given by the astrologer, she practiced fasting, bathed in holy river, and performed other religious rituals. On the third day, that Brahmin ghost appeared in her dream and requested her to return his money. Further, he instructed her that should she fail to return his money, he would annihilate her and her race, that he would see to it that whatever religious rituals performed by her would not fructify and that he would trouble her. So saying, he readied to strike a blow to her in a fit of anger. Scared by remembering Shri Guruji constantly, she rushed towards the Audumbar tree to seek protection. Then Shri Guruji appeared from behind the tree and gave her an assurance of protection. He prevented that ghost from marching towards that woman. When Shri Guruji asked the ghost the reason as to why he was troubling her, he politely told Shri Guruji thus: O Master, this woman in her past birth had cheated me by not returning the money she borrowed from me. She is solely responsible for myself committing suicide. I am not leaving her till she returns my money. O Master, you being a virtuous soul should deliver justice without taking anybody's side. My only demand is that she should return my money. That is what I expect from her, nothing else. To that, Shri Guruji instructed that ghost in an angry tone thus: Hey ghost Brahmin, I am the protector of the surrendered ones. She has taken refuge under me. Naturally, I am bound to protect her. You should not trouble her anymore. If you trouble, I am certainly going to punish you. By respecting my instructions, you must behave properly. If you do so, you will be relieved from your ghosthood and get elevated. Willingly accept whatever money she gives as per her ability and oblige. Should you bother her anymore, I am going to retribute in a manner you deserve. I shall not spare you. Shri Guruji ordered thus in a harsh tone. On listening to Shri Guruji's angry words, that ghost started shivering and saluted Shri Guruji with folded hands. The ghost gladly prayed thus: O the righteous one, today I am really fortunate to have your vision. I am definitely going to obey your orders. Kindly relieve me from the state of ghosthood and bless me for my salvation. Thereafter, Shri Guruji instructed that woman to utilize the money according to her ability and perform the rituals in the name of that Brahmin ghost, to take bath in the sacred ponds of that place in his name and offer ablution seva in the vicinity of Audumbar tree and worship it every day. Further, Shri Guruji said that if she observes the way she was instructed to do, the ghost would be elevated and she would be freed from the sins accrued by killing the Brahmin. Besides, Shri Guruji assured that by by the grace of Guru, she would also be gifted with a male and female issues with longevity. That wise woman followed the instructions of Sri Guruji and performed the rituals pertaining to ablution seva and funeral rites of the ghost with utmost faith. The Brahmin ghost who was elevated got freed from the ghosthood. That woman too was absolved from the sins of slaying the Brahmin. Later, Sri Guruji manifested in her dream and instructed her that she would be blessed with two learned children very soon who would be proficient in Vedas and scriptures, and so saying, put two fruits in the pouch of her sari. Sri Guruji further instructed her to worship the Padukas of Sri Guruji devotedly and arrange for mass meal program Anna Santaparna Seva. She did it strictly in accordance with Sri Guruji's instructions along with her husband. By the grace of Sadguru, she was blessed with two male issues. They performed the thread ceremony of their elder son. When the second son attained the age of 3 years, they decided to arrange for the tonsure ceremony, the rite of shaving the head as per tradition. However, on the previous day of the ceremony, the boy was afflicted by serious ailments. All his organs got crippled. To her utter dismay, the tetanus disease-ridden boy expired on the third day at the sunset time. The mother could not bear the pangs of separation of her son. She grieved a lot. Recollecting the incidents of her already dead children, she was undergoing a mental agony. No amount of advice from the well-wishers could console her. Grief-stricken, she thought in her mind that there is no likelihood of my son's untimely death, who was born out of the blessings of Shri Narsingh Saraswati Shri Guruji. How can the words of Shri Guruji fail to fructify? Even though Sri Guruji and Audubon have celebrated glory, it proved to be of no use to me. How could this unpleasant incident happen to me when I am blessed by Sri Guruji? Thus grieving, she got prepared to end her life by entering the funeral pyre set for her son. People who assembled there advised her to abstain from such unwarranted action, but she did not heed to their advice. She also did not give consent for performing funeral rites of her dead son. Meanwhile, there appeared a young ascetic and started giving sermon in the matter of self-knowledge. In reality, he was none other than the Supreme Guru Shri Narsingh Saraswati, who was in the guise of a young ascetic. Here ends the 20th chapter in the most auspicious Shri gurucharitra. Shri Gurudeva Datta. Shri Guru Dattatreya Arpanamastu.